What are the 10 hottest comics of the week? Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is good, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and thank you guys for joining me for another Hot 10 breakdown of the week. If you guys aren't familiar with what I do in this video, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down one by one, telling you guys out there in the community if I'm a buyer here at these prices or if I'm staying away or even selling. But before we get in the video, like always, guys, I ask you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and click that subscribe button for me. I want you to smash that like button, get this video out to 200 likes, because then I'm going to give something away. I'll take something out of my collection, something small, and mail it to one lucky subscriber of the channel. So do me a favor, smash that like button. Of course, turn on the notification bell because it lets you guys know when I post new videos. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. At number 10 on this week's list is a copy of Hulk number 2 and the first appearance of Red Hulk in story. Now, this is not his true first appearance. His first appearance is on a cover of a book that I don't know the number. I apologize to you guys. Regardless, a CGC 9.8 just sold for $300, up 5% since 2021. But that's not it. There was a 9.2 sale for $54, up 38% just this past December. So almost a year ago, guys. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of these modern books. I can tell you that right now. If I'm going to buy a book, it's going to be his true first appearance on that cover. But even then, I'm not a modern collector, so I'm probably staying away from that one as well. To me, I'm just not doing it here in this market. Hey, if you want to shell out a little bit less money for a low grade just to have in the collection, I'm good with it. Other than that, I'm staying away. At number 9 on this week's list is a copy of Fantastic Four number 18 and the first appearance of the Super Skrull. But this is also the second appearance of the Skrulls altogether. And a CGC 6.0 just sold last week for $1,178, up 9% over that average. Not only that, guys, there was a 3.0 sale for $283, up 1% over that average. I've been telling you guys for the better part of a year and a half to go out and pick this book up. Right now, I think it's a little bit too late, though. We missed our chance. It has gone up a little bit, not a ton. We're probably going to get that Secret Invasion show early next year. I think it's a little bit too late to investing in this one. I think it's a cool Silver Age book, a nice first appearance, but I'm not chalking up the money for this one right here, right now. Let that show subside, and then we'll see what this book does, maybe if you want to pick it up after the fact. At number 8 on this week's list is a copy of Batman number 136 and this awesome cover art by Sheldon Modoff in a CGC 7.0, just sold last week for $400, up 8% over that 12-month rolling average. But not only that, guys, there was also a CGC 5.5 that just sold for $295, up a whopping 10% over that average. I told you guys that DC keys are about to head higher with James Gunn taking over on DC Studios right now. I think everything is fair game. Just be careful where you're putting your money. To me, I don't want to shell out the money for this one. It's not an important enough key to me. An awesome cover, but I'd rather take that money and put it towards some other bigger DC keys. I think that's the better buy right now. At number 7 on this list is a copy of Adventure Interfere number 19 and the first appearance of Howard the Duck. Now, this book has been on and off the list for the better part of a year or so. I am a huge Howard the Duck fan. I love the old 80s movie. I think it's one of the most classic movies out there from that time period relating to Marvel characters. And a CGC 9.0 just sold the prior week for $350, up 6% over the average. Also, guys, a CGC 8.5 just sold last week also for $360, up 13% over that average as well. So a 9.0 for $350 and 8.5 for $360. Doesn't seem like too much is going on with pricing for this book, around the same dollar amount. Not sure why it's on this list. Are we going to get a Howard the Duck movie, a Howard the Duck show? Is he going to appear in something MCU related going forward? We got that tidbit, and I think an Avengers Endgame of him running with all the other heroes from the MCU. To me, I can't shell out the money on this one where it is right now price-wise. I used to own this book way back when in my collection, got rid of it a long time ago. To me, it's not worth adding at this point. At number 6 on this week's list is a copy of Marvel Superheroes number 20 in this iconic art by Larry Lieber, also this classic solo story featuring Doctor Doom. This book has been all over the list for the better part of 2 years and is CGC 8.5. Just sold last week for $1,199, up 14% over that average. But that's not it, guys. A CGC 7.0 also sold for $600, up 3% over that average. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Doctor Doom, but to me, this is probably the third or fourth book I'd buy in that series. It's got to be Fantastic Four number 5, number 1, ASM number 5 in the 2, and I think it's Fantastic Four Annual number 2 as well, which is that first origin, I think, of Doctor Doom retold. Those to me are better buys over this book. This book was so cheap about 3 years ago. Now it's exploded in value. To me, I just don't want to shell out the cash for this book. I'd rather take that money and put it towards some of the other books I just mentioned. So this is a no-go for me, guys. At number 5 this week is a book that was on the list last week, and it is creeping up again. It is a copy of Omega Men number 3 and the first appearance of Lobo. Now, I told you guys last week that I was a buyer of this book. It was my only buy on the list last week, and now it's on this week's list again. A CGC 9.8, because the 9.8 is the only copy that I'm buying right now. Just sold last week again for $370, up 16% over that 12-month rolling average. Now, last week the high sale was $350. Now this week it's up another $20 to $370. You guys know I said last week I'm a buyer of this book. I think they're going to use this character at some point in DC with James Gunn taking over the helm. But I will say this. This is my max I'm spending for this book right here at a 9.8. I'm not going over $370. I'm still trying to get it at $350. Don't pay up. Get it for the price you want, but I do think they're going to use this character going forward, so it may be worth it, but you have to have a limit in what you're willing to pay. At the 4th spot on this list is a copy of Showcase number 55 and the first Golden Age Green Lantern in the Silver Age, and a CGC 6.5. Just sold the prior week for $295, up 5% over that 12-month rolling average. But not only that, we had a CGC 5.5 sell for $285, up 11% over the average. Like I just said, Silver Age DC keys are starting to go up in value. However, I am a Golden Age buyer when it comes to DC. You can't go out and get the Golden Age books, then yes, hell yeah, jump on these Silver Age keys. I think they're still ridiculously cheap in my opinion. But with that said, this book, I'm not a buyer of this one. I definitely want to pick up some DC keys, but I want to put it towards more first appearances, not really this Silver Age appearance of a Golden Age character. Keep that in mind. I'm definitely a fan of DC right now. I just want the bigger keys. At number 3 on this list is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 102 and the first appearance of the Hulk in his own solo title. It went from 1 to 6 over to Tales to Astonish and then back to Incredible Hulk at issue number 102. And a CGC this week, guys, an 8.0, just sold for $535, up 9% over that rolling average, and a 5.0 just sold for $245, up 4% over that average. This book was on the list last week, and I told you I was a buyer then, and I'm still a buyer right now, guys. I don't need to have a super high grade of this book. It is a Silver Age key, a beautiful cover. I believe it's Steranko cover as well. I'm fine with mid-grade, 5.0, 5.5, under $300. That to me is a sweet spot. It really hasn't gone too much up in value. I'm pulling the trigger every time I see in this book. It's still a classic cover and a classic book, in my opinion. At number 2 is one of my all-time favorite DC keys. It is a copy of Batman number 227 and this classic homage cover by the late, great Neil Adams. This, of course, is an homage to Detective Comics number 31, which I actually was just in the market looking to see prices for this book. And when I tell you I found one like at 1.5 for almost $80,000, it was insanity. But a CGC of this one, a 9.2, just sold last week for $2,800, up 17% since 2021. That to me is quite a jump. Also, guys, a 5.5 just sold for $525, up 1% since January. I actually own a 5.5 in my collection. It is signed by Neil Adams himself. To me, I think this is a great buy right now with all DC keys going up in value. I think this one will keep going up because of Neil's passing, unfortunately, and because this cover is so iconic. And there are still copies out there to be had, and it is a Silver Age book. One I'm definitely grabbing, one of my top picks on this list. And at the top spot, guys, is a monster key. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man #1 and the second appearance of Spider-Man. But this is also the first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson and, of course, the Chameleon, one of Spider-Man's greatest foes, in a CGC 9.6. Just sold last week for a new record $336,000, up 205% since 2004. You guys know I'm definitely a buyer of this book at any grade right now. I think this key especially has come down over the past year. It was reaching some monster sales in lower grades early this year, and now it is finally trickling down where I think it's in a good spot to go ahead and pull the trigger on this one, especially in low grades. You guys know I talk about it all the time. I have a 0.5 copy in my collection, my only incomplete book. It's missing the back cover. I may look to upgrade this one if I can get one for a steal. Other than that, I'm happy with my 0.5 because it looks like a 4.0. Yes, you guys know I'm always a buyer of this book. It is a Silver Age classic and iconic key. That's it for the list this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Some new books on the list, which is awesome, but still not a huge amount of books that I'm looking to buy right now. You guys know if I'm picking up anything, I'm picking them up for the long term. If you guys haven't checked out some of my other videos, like my Signature Series podcast, which is on YouTube, but also on Apple Podcasts, do me a favor, check it out. If you haven't checked out my website, mightycollects.com, check that out as well. I've just posted some new books for sale. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.